Hello BookTube, I'm Zina and this is Beating Around the Books. I want to film a TBR slash pile of possibilities for April, and I don't know if there's going to be any extra like recent read sort of stuff in there as well. Depends on how long I take. Okay, so maybe let's start with the things that I definitely, that are musts of sorts. So because they're usually in their buddy reads or they're sort of some other read along. So the first thing that I've already started is Sister Souljah, The Coldest Winter Ever. This is a book club that's hosted by Bert at Storytime. It's called My So-Called Book Club. You can find that on Instagram. And this was the pick for March and April, but I kept it to one side for April, and I've already started it. I've not got very far yet, just like the tiniest bit, but it's quite compelling so far. So that one definitely. Then I have a buddy read planned with Rainer from Rainier Books, which is Lauren Oyler's fake accounts. So this is that internet book, I guess, if you want to call it that, or one of those internet books about a woman who finds out that her boyfriend is some sort of, how do you say this, he owns an anonymous conspiracy theory account in social media, which is quite shocking to her. That is kind of all I know about it, apart from having heard about it on a different channel at Rebecca Eats Books, and I'm sure she talked more about it, but I've since then forgotten again, which is good because I like reading books without knowing that much about them. So that's our buddy read, which should commence soon, like theoretically in the first week of April, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll see what I hear back from Rainer. And then the last one that is a definite is Interior Chinatown by Charles Yu. I've had this on my radar for a bit, ever since I saw it reviewed by Mark Nash. I've only ordered it in March, so it's fine. Like, it's not been sitting on my TBR for ages. I want to read this. I wanted to get to it soon anyway, and then I was contacted by Mark, not Nash, but Mark from Book Time with Elvis, and he asked about maybe reading, about whatever, let's just leave it at that. We're doing a buddy read of this. So those are the ones that I definitely want to get to, which seems quite doable, right? And the next one on, I guess, my priority list is to read at least one or maybe two of the books for the BookTube prize. I'm judging this round, and I'm in fiction group B. Well, off the top of my head now, I probably can't give you all 6 titles. One of them is Brendan Taylor's Real Life, which I got as an ebook because the ebook version was relatively affordable. Then there is Shuggie Bain in there, which I've already read. Then there is, what else was in there? Oh, The Glass Castle. Is it called The Glass Castle? Oh, look, there's a cat. Oh. By Emily St. John Mandel, I think that was her name. And I think around 3 or 4 of them are available as an audiobook on scribd, so I'm gonna go with that because I tend to try and keep this. I did the BookTube prize thing last year as well. I mean, obviously then I didn't have a channel, but I try to keep it sort of cheap. And, it's not like I can use the library for these types of things often they're not going to be available in the German library. English translations. Yes, you can find English books, but most of the time it's not going to be very relatively new releases. I I think it's a toss-up. No, it's not a toss-up, is it? Because Real Life is an ebook. So I might read that and then also listen to one audiobook. Probably the St. John Mandel one. There's another one, Lily King, Writers and Lovers. And the third one, I've forgotten again which one it is. Anyway, at some point I'll have an actual list and we'll be prepared to mention all of those names. It's not like I can talk about them anyway right now. Sorry, distracting cats again. Would you like to see one? Because he's just here. Hello. Hello. Say hello. No interest. Okay, let's go. That's the other one you don't normally get to see. So that's one thing, and then the other thing I would like to read is Ali Smith's Spring. I kind of lost my chance to read it when it was in season last year, and I don't want to miss out again because I definitely also want to read Summer this year. And yeah, I just want to read them in order. So that is my other kind of priority. I feel like I'm okay if I read the 3 that are like scheduled buddy reads, and then I read maybe one of the BookTube prize ones, I'll be okay. And then if that's the case, then I'll start with this. And the other thing that I am into, that I definitely want to get to very soon, or maybe I might start randomly anyway, is Minor Feelings by Cathy Park Hong. Same thing, had it on my radar for a while, and didn't really, I think maybe I was waiting for the paperback to come in. I'm not sure, because I seem to remember, at least the first time I heard of it, there was only the hardback, and I didn't want to spend that much money. What can you say? Yeah, but it's finally here. I like the other cover much better, but this was the most affordable one. And I mean, this is an essay collection, so I feel like I might just read one in every so often, right, in between. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm definitely very interested in it. And I don't know. I always hope that, this sounds a bit silly, maybe it sounds a bit egotistical, but I sometimes hope that I'll find something of my own experience reflected in that, even though I know that it's not going to be 100% relatable or something like that. I'm in Germany, I'm not in the US. And then that's where the differences begin, but they certainly don't end there. But I find myself clinging to kind of the smallest things when I read books written from a perspective that is, you know, Asian or biracial Asian in a Western country, that sort of thing. I cling to very small things already, and kind of am already delighted when I hear that, or I read that somewhere. Maybe it's a bit weird, but I think maybe it's also quite normal. I was also a super fan of Mulan back in the day, because it felt so good to have a Disney protagonist that isn't an animal or a white princess. Not that I was thinking about it in those terms, but I was incredibly excited when it came out, in a way that I was not about any of the others. So yeah, I feel like in hindsight I probably learned that representation does matter. Okay, I don't know where we're going here. I'm getting off track. So those are my sort of my pile of possibilities, which is, well, these 5, well, no, I mean TBR plus pile of possibilities, and then a few audiobooks and ebooks that I obviously can't show here. And then what else is there? Yeah. Oh yeah, there's one other thing that I've already started, well, I've looked into anyway. It's Jessica Mitford's Poison Penmanship, The Gentle Art of Muckraking. You know, I feel like it may be too loud. There's a garage downstairs, which is like basically in the back of the house that I live in, and there's these guys, like, I don't know, they're just always fumbling about with motorbikes or something, and clearly they've just been trying out the motor or something like that, and that's what made that lovely noise. So yeah, Jessica Mitford, The Gentle Art of Muckraking. This is one of those absolute random buys. I went online to one of my most used secondhand bookshops, and I think I wanted to buy something different. I mean, I bought some other books, but for some reason, I really like these versions of, what is it called again? NYRB Classics. I really like them, but they're not as easy to get your hands on here. I mean, they are, you can buy them new, they're relatively pricey. I don't think they're super cheap in the US either, but I think here they're even more. So I tend to just sometimes type in that publisher into the secondhand bookshops search mask and just see what comes up. And this one I had already had my eyes on anyway. This is John Williams's Butcher's Crossing. So I've read his Stoner. Haven't read any of his other novels, but I absolutely loved Stoner. It's ages ago that I read it, but this came up, so I thought I might have it. It's not in the best condition. The spine is a bit... I don't even know how that happens to a book, but it's fine. The rest actually looks quite okay. Like the... Yeah. This is not damage that comes from reading, is it? Somebody was not gentle with this. So, and because I saw this, because I put in the search title in NYRB Classics, this came out, and I mean, I don't know, the title just spoke to me, right? I mean, muckraking, why not? And then obviously I looked it up, and that just sounded really exciting. And I had actually heard of Jessica Mitford before. I mean, we've all heard of Mitfords, but that's a different story altogether. It was in a book by Doughty, that the mortician who also has this really successful YouTube channel. She's done several books. One is a memoir, which is called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, where she speaks about her first experiences working in the, I don't know how you call that, mortuary industry, death industry, who knows. Yeah, and there I think she talks about, in that one she mentions a book or an article, can't remember, by Jessica Mitford that basically blew the lid off of that industry and the incredible amounts of money that are being made with people's grief. So that kind of recommended this to me. Yeah, and then I also got so then I got Maggie O'Farrell's Instructions for a Heatwave, because I read her Hamnet and absolutely loved it, and I had to find more by her. I mean, I know that this is completely different, but it just sounded interesting. And again, this was one of the ones that were available on that secondhand website, secondhand bookshop website, and so this is the one I chose. Then then there were two other ones that I bought by Jennifer Egan. One is The Keep, and the other one is Manhattan Beach. Yeah, I have read her A Visit from the Goon Squad. Again, that was brilliant. I loved it so much, so I knew at some point I had to read more Jennifer Egan. And these just also came up. I couldn't decide which one of these two I wanted, and then I decided, let's just check which one is cheaper on the secondhand bookshop. And then they were basically the same, so of course I had to get them both. And then the last one that I bought secondhand recently was The 13th Tale by Dianne Setterfield. I had never heard of this really. I know it sounds a bit silly because I think now that I've heard the name, I've heard her name several times, but I only heard about this book relatively recently in Claudia at Spinster's Library's video about books, which, you know, I love books. I love books about books, and this was also available very cheaply on that website. So just made it a six book haul instead. Yeah. So I guess this is an April TBR pile of possibilities / recent secondhand book haul. I wasn't sure if that would be the case, but it is now. Right, yeah, so thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you're reading for April. Are you, I don't know, somebody taking part in Bert's read along maybe, or the book club, I mean, or is anybody like super keen to read this in spring? Let me know. All right, have a lovely rest of the day and happy Easter. Bye bye.